Okay, how are you doing, Bruno?
I'm doing great. Avik, how are you?
I'm doing fantastic. I had some 2v2 games today and I'm doing fantastic. I just wanted to ask you if yeah, are you going to play like this weekend, this those challengers?
Yeah, I'll sign up and see what happens.
Okay, so we're gonna actually try to qualify.
I will participate in the qualifiers. That's it.
All right. All right. Guys, remember that Bruno is like collecting the donations for QuakeCon trip, so make sure to donate to him on his stream. So maybe we can meet him there. Okay, so it's last qualifiers for Europeans. And what I'm thinking
Yes.
right now, I don't really understand the whole plan of those challengers because like I don't really agree with, for example, Yup participating in all the global challengers. For example, I think it should be other way around. So regionals should be forced. So the best
Exactly.
the best regional player actually qualifying already, and then
Yeah,
the rest can qualify from global. So it's like for everyone. So it should be like South American, European, North American, and then all the globals till the end.
I agree. I was actually cheering against Yep in the global qualifiers because if he qualified, then another much lower, less skilled player from the South American region would potentially get the slot of someone like Garpy or CNZ or
Hmm.
one of the European qualifiers already.
Hmm. I think they did it like this way because, for example, if uh, no, I'm just trying to figure out why it was. Ah, yeah, because there's a seeding. So, for
Yeah.
example, if the first regional will be what, like they will like compare like EU to NA or like to South America, they cannot do it like so. They made it like global, and that's why global got the first seed. Because I got the Wikipedia open now, and I see that the first seed who qualified was actually Garpy, and then
Yep.
CNZ from the other global.
Yeah, I
So,
guess they didn't want to compromise too much with the initial seedings.
mhm, mhm.
I don't think that would be much of a problem anyway. They could even randomize the seedings for that.
Yeah, true. And also, yeah, this is what I also wanted to ask you because I remember there was like some issues with the first bracket, like the first like qualifier. I think that the bracket was super stacked on the bottom of the bracket or like on or the upper of the bracket, or the other side was like kind of weaker. Do you think there
Yeah,
should be some seeding like based on the past results or something like this? I think that should be quite easy because like let's say CNZ was already in QPL, so he should be like the highest seed anyway, right? Or the
yeah. You
people
don't
who
even need to
dropped.
seed everyone. You can just seed top 8 and let the rest be random. What happened in the first qualifier was that you had Garpy,
Mhm.
Yup, Buckster, CNZ,
Yeah.
Celts, and Sparty, and also RMV all in the same side of the bracket. And
Hmm.
the other side of the bracket, it was Proximo and Face.
True. Yeah, so
So very stacked.
I hope this time it will be more balanced because it's the last challenger where you can qualify when you are European.
Yeah.
And let's be honest, like I think European scene is like the biggest one at the moment. We still have a lot of players trying to qualify. So going through those players, like as far as I remember, who we definitely got like FaZe, we
Yeah,
got RMV.
Face, RMV, Proximo, enesy, Sparty, who's already been in QPL. He can
True.
also qualify like a lot of good players. Then also some people that who don't we don't really see often, but we know that have the skill to
Hmm.
compete, like Silence App. I'm
True.
always scared that this Silence App qualifies because he can actually win like one of those qualifiers if he
Yeah.
decides to practice
Yeah.
duel for
Yeah.
1 month or two.
Yeah. I think he's super busy lately. I don't see him actually touching Quake anymore. I remember I asked him to play some 2v2s lately, and he told me that he's basically available only like during the day, like
Yeah.
not really in the evening. So I don't actually know what is he doing at the
Yeah, I think
moment.
he's on like a 6 years monitor because I actually made him install Quake yesterday to check some things in maps.
Yeah,
And he said, "Oh, I'm only playing on a 60 yard screen because I'm really busy with real life stuff." And so I guess he doesn't
nice,
grind much anyway.
nice. Were you surprised like till now, like with all the results for challengers so far?
Yeah, I didn't expect Garpy to be the first. I knew Sanzed was going to qualify for sure. Buckster
Hmm.
probably as well. I
Hmm.
was surprised that Garpy was the first to qualify and that
Hmm.
Celts took the last qualifier. And I'm surprised that
True.
RMV and FaZe are not qualified yet.
And I'm surprised that Sparty is not qualified yet.
Yeah, I forgot Sparty. Yeah, I think Sparty would have been like the first choice for the first
Mhm.
qualifier for me.
Same, because after QuakeCon, I remember him being so like upset and kind of
Yeah.
annoyed that he get out of the league. And I remember he right away he went back to home. He kept playing and he kept practicing. And I remember throughout the first like 2 or 3 challengers, he actually was like practicing a lot. But we discussed it already with. I spoke about it with Kilsen and I spoke about it with Venger and I spoke about it with Spardy himself, and I really think he was doing big mistake previous qualifiers because he's like working full time, right? So he's working from Monday to Friday, and
Hmm.
then you kind of see him like grinding the game like really extremely hard and a lot on like Thursday, let's say Friday, and then Saturday morning. Like I don't imagine how can myself playing like this. Like how can you play good on a qualifiers day, let's say Saturday, when you already had like for example 2 hours of warm-up games before that, and then you need to go for another like 4 or 5 hours of playing, and it's whole day, and you overplayed Friday and Thursday. I think that's actually a mistake. I think because what can you actually learn
You're not
in
gonna
one
learn
day?
anything, right?
Yeah,
I think practicing right before, like one day before or right in the morning before, is a mistake. Because at that point, you're not gonna learn anything. So the only thing you should be playing is warming up, so that you feel good and confident about yourself.
yeah,
Because you're not gonna learn anything that you didn't already learn in the past 2,000 hours in those 3 hours before. It
yeah.
just has a it might trigger you to be tilted or to be sad or something like that.
Mhm.
Might trigger negative emotion.
I think so too, because like if he practiced, let's say, whole Friday and he was getting spanked by Kilson, for example, right?
Yeah,
His nerves were already kind of touched, he was already broken a little bit. So I think during the tournament, when something wasn't going his way, it was
he's
easier
getting
for him.
flashbacks.
Yeah, he was getting like flashbacks from previous day of Kilson, and he was
Yeah.
like kind of like tilting too hard and giving up. And I remember funny game of Sparty. He actually typed GG against someone, right? And then the guys kind of stopped playing, and then Sparty made a comeback and
Kept
won the
going.
map. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I don't remember who it was. I think wasn't it RMV or something?
I don't remember,
I
but
think it was
that's
this
funny.
season. It was this season, and it was against someone. I think on Molten. I think he typed GG and he kind of made a comeback. And I,
Did he take the win?
I don't remember, but I think he got the win actually. I would have to ask. I don't remember who I was watching it with. I think probably with Hron. I would have to
Because I
ask.
remember a story like that with Noctis on Quake Live. I don't remember who he was playing versus, but he typed GG,
Hmm.
and then he came back and won the map. So we made it like a gentleman's agreement in Quake Live that when you say GG, game is over.
Yeah, yeah. Jesus. But yeah, it was like this. Sparty likes to write in chat, and this
Yeah, he
also like
writes a lot.
I think because of that he also cannot focus too much.
Because like we all know that Sparty has the skills
Hmm.
to be in QPL. Like he's been at top of Quake for a very long time,
Hmm.
and he's one of the few pros that can actually play every single game mode.
Hmm.
But his mental is what uh, makes him not be as good as he could be.
Hmm. But you know what? I think um, I didn't see this weak mental game from Sparty in previous Quakes, or even in the. I think even in the beginning of Quake Champions, he wasn't really like that easy to break mentally. Uh, why do you think it's like that? Do you think it's because of his practice regime? Because Kilson said that Sparty got used to like to just playing like Friday, Saturday, and then playing his QPL match, chill and stuff like this, and he kind of maybe during all these years, like he maybe stopped like improving or something, or like what do you think is the issues for him in general?
I would say it's more real life related, right? Because I would assume in Quake Live or maybe early in Quake Champions, he wasn't working as much as he does now.
But he was partying harder
Yeah, he was partying harder.
than
And
working, yeah.
yeah, if you're working like 40, 60 hours a week and you have
Hmm.
limited time to practice with, especially on a high pressure game
Hmm.
and the game that takes a lot of on your mental, it's hard to manage both things.
Hmm.
I think if Sparty, if he took like a vacation from work for like a month or so to
Mhm.
practice for a qualifier, I think he wins the qualifier easy.
Mhm. Okay, let me check the challenges. First one was like the one with Garpy one.
Yeah, the
Uh,
one that was hyper stacked below.
okay, so Face was second, Proxima was third, and Yap was fourth. Proxima is also interesting because this guy lives in Kazakhstan,
Yeah,
and I think he lives in far east Kazakhstan. So the the time difference for him is actually, I think it's about 7 hours.
I'm gonna check actually. What?
Yeah, I don't remember which city he was from, but I think he was far, far.
Okay, look, in Kazakhstan, it's
Yeah,
now 2 a.m.
yeah. So it's like 4 hours difference, but it's like the capital of Kazakhstan, right?
Yeah,
Kazakhstan has like few time zones, I think.
yeah, it has apparently 2 or 3 different time zones.
Yeah. So he is on the far east. So I'm pretty sure he's like 6 or 7 hours difference. It's like
So it's
almost,
like 4 a.m. for him now,
yeah,
and
it's
for me it's
almost,
9 p.m.
yeah, it's almost like NA and a U, basically.
And yup, he played yup at some point in one of the qualifiers. I wonder what was the time difference between them. It's like +7 and -7. One was playing at 10 a.m. and the other
Man,
was
it
playing
was,
at 1 and 8.
for one guy it was Monday, for another it
Yeah,
was Wednesday. It was two
time
days, two
traveling.
days difference. Yeah. Anyway, I'm joking, of course. So guys, don't think that I don't know anything about the time zones. Anyway, uh, Proximo, also more interesting thing. His ping is quite high to EU
Yeah,
Central and and EU West. I think he's pinging quite good to EU
I
East.
think 70 to East. Usually, and when we play on East and we both ping 70,
Hmm.
but we can't play Central because he pings like 95 to Central.
Yeah, yeah. So that's quite problematic for some people, I think.
Yeah,
And he did quite good, like last challengers, I remember.
yeah. You went to Quake World Championship 2022 in Romania.
Yeah, yeah, and he played there. And then I'm talking about the last qualifiers, so like 2 weeks ago or like 3 weeks ago or whatever was that. It was actually further than that because we had like what we had the different one last.
Yeah, so he got the top four in the first and in the third qualifier.
Yep.
And in the third qualifier, there was a bit of drama because
Yeah.
the player he lost to
Yeah.
was Fast the Noob.
We don't know who he lost to actually.
Yeah.
I don't think even he knows who he lost to. But still, he made top four, so I would consider him one of the favorites, especially that like he kind of playing like a collected game, and I think he's decent with all the champions. I'm checking the last qualifier, like the third one. Uh, okay, yeah, I'm checking the third one. There's Celts, Sparty. Sparty lost to Celts actually in the third one, and then Celts lost to Baxter.
Yeah.
Okay, and the last global was fourth one,
It was the final of enesy and Celts.
and there,
enesy actually beat Celts really early on and got to the final.
yeah,
I
but
think that was
it's
pretty big for enesy.
is this bracket like smaller or like there was not enough people or
No,
what?
there's a bigger bracket if you check the right side under links and
All
click
right.
the second link there.
Anyway, Yo plus two Celts, yeah,
Yeah.
also interesting. And Celts 2-0 NSE. I always think that NSE and Celts have quite similar playstyles. Don't you think so? I
I think
didn't really
Celts is a
watch
bit
Celts.
more defensive than enesy because I mean it's hard to be as aggressive as enesy, right? He
Yeah,
just runs at stuff. So
yeah.
Celts is a bit more defensive,
Hmm.
but they play the very aim heavy style basically.
Hmm. I think Celts is also super good aim-wise, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay.
I think other aimers probably wouldn't say super good aim wise because when when good aimers talk about each other,
Yeah,
they just consider themselves as very good aimers and everyone else terrible. But yeah, they're both really good aimers.
yeah.
What I found surprising about the last qualifier is that RMV didn't sign up, neither did Face. And I
True,
think that was a pretty big mistake from both of them.
true. Why did RMV didn't sign up? Do you know?
I don't know. I remember asking him, but I don't remember what he told me. I think he had something already uh,
I think he was on
booked
some
for that day,
vacations or maybe
something like
something
that.
like
Yeah,
that.
some family vacations that he couldn't change.
And Face was just taking the time off from Quake, I think.
Yeah,
Do you think like the last one was the restacked?
yeah, because those two weren't in, right? I don't think even Proximo was in the last one. You still see Sparty, Enesy,
Yeah,
Celts,
yeah.
and Yup, but you don't see Proximo, you don't see RMV, and you don't see Face.
Oh, so Sparty basically lost the first game with enesy. And what you think about single elimination here?
About what?
About single elimination bracket?
I like single elimination. I think all tournaments should be single elimination.
Why?
I am not a fan of double elimination because if you lose one game, your mental is already devastated. You don't want to keep playing anymore.
Uh, not sure. I think if the tournament is quite big, you still happy that you can
That's true.
participate.
I
And
will say one thing though.
uh
If the bracket is random, they need double elimination definitely.
yeah. But also, like if there is double elimination and you know that you have second chance, you can have a better games in winner bracket because people playing more open and they are like willing to risk things. And otherwise, I don't know. It's just my
But I
opinion.
kind of like when everything's on the line.
Okay.
I think it's both beautiful to play and to watch because the player is playing everything he has.
hmm Yeah,
I
it's
think,
also good. I think in the beginning of Quake Champions we had like single elimination brackets, and then they switched to double elimination because we get like those intercontinental games like on
yeah.
online and stuff like this. So it was, I think, more fair for everyone to do it like this. Okay, so we got RMV, Sparty, Proximo, Face, NSE, and now we need to choose only one.
Yeah.
I
And
I
there's
will.
also Hell who has been
Yeah,
practicing
yeah,
quite a
of
bit.
course. Sorry, yeah, there is Hal as well, and he also practiced a lot. If I had to choose, I think I would have to go with Sparty because this is the last chance. You need to understand that this is the last chance, like for Europeans. And imagine Sparty doesn't qualify to QuakeCon. Can you imagine that? Even he was in QPL for so long, he dropped out, and now 5 times in a row or 4 times in a row, he didn't qualify.
I don't think there's a chance that Sparty doesn't win the last qualifier. I'll say it like that. I think FaZe has a chance, RMV has a chance because he made
Mhm.
it to last year's QuakeCon, and as he has a chance because he's playing good.
Uh-huh.
Proximo has a chance because he plays solid, but I don't think there's a world where Sparty allows himself to fail this one. I think he might even take this week all on vacation from work just to win the qualifier. If he does that, he wins it for sure.
Yeah. I spoke with him a little bit yesterday, and he actually told me that he took like 1 week vacation, which
Oh,
means he cannot take those holidays right before QuakeCon if he managed to qualify. So he kind of played all in here, and he decided to take the 1 week off, and he's
that's great.
practicing quite hard. Plus he's going to the gym. Plus he's eating good. Plus he plays some 2v2. Even right now, I see him practicing with Kilson and streaming their games. So I think he's giving his best.
Yeah, I think knowing that, I think Sparty has like a 75% chance of qualifying.
Mhm. And he also took long break after the last qualifiers where he
Yeah,
lost to NSC. I think he kind of get tilted and he decided to not play, which can be good for him, I think.
definitely. Because if he kept playing the way he was playing, it would only cause him to go in more of a downward spiral.
Mhm. I think we didn't forget about anyone, right? We mentioned all
Unless
of
you
them,
want to include me.
unless I want to include you,
Yeah,
but
no,
we cannot include ourselves because we are predicting. We cannot do that,
yeah,
Bruno. Otherwise,
okay.
you will be the
The number one
100%
choice for
favorite.
sure.
Yeah,
Yeah,
number one. Uh, you playing some Tuvitos with NSE, right? Lately
yeah.
against us. So, what are his weak sides?
I mean, Energy is just a very one-dimensional kind of guy. He just goes for the items basically. He's very
Mhm,
aggressive. He has very good aim. He does
mhm,
really well in chaotic fights.
Hmm.
But his downside is that this game is still too one-dimensional. I think
Hmm.
if he does win the qualifier,
Hmm.
I will try and figure out a way for him to improve the game
Hmm.
because we talk a lot about the game together.
Hmm.
But currently, there's no time to for him to try and develop his style more. So right
Hmm.
now, his main focus was time well and
Hmm.
try to fight on items basically.
Yeah, because look, I see him going to items like a lot and fighting for them, and no matter what, he's going there. But is he timing items actually, or he's going by feeling, or he's going based on your communication in a team? How does it look like?
If I tell you how Enesy was 1 month, 2 months ago compared to now, Enesy 2 months ago he didn't time any items.
Whoa.
Enesy now is actually timing every item. So
Okay.
there's been a good improvement.
So he actually actively timing.
Yeah, yeah. It's a lot better.
Okay, so he kind of like there is similarities with his style and Rafa style, right? But
Yeah.
I think I think NSC kind of going all in for the fight.
Yeah,
Uh,
he just overcommits at every fight.
yeah, because Rafa is going to item, but I don't know how to explain that.
He just goes for damage exchange on items, right?
Yeah, if he's
Just wants
late,
a little fight, a little fight.
yeah, he's just at least taking like the fight like from distance or doing some damage. If he's forced, then he's of course taking the item and then taking the
Yeah,
guy who's coming in. And NSC always seems to be kind of late to the item. Always he's coming like as a second guy, and then he's going all in basically.
yeah,
So he's not stopping and not starting to dodge or something like this. He's just like going in and then starting to fight. I think yeah, that's the mistake basically.
yeah. He needs to learn when he can go and not.
Mhm.
Because going for every item, overcommitting is not good because it can snowball quite hard against you if your
Mhm.
opponent is taking the items, especially because you're going for fight right after the enemy takes the item. So the enemy is usually outstacking you quite a bit, and it's
Yeah,
easy to defend the items.
yeah. And it's also in 1v1, it's easier to stop someone going in between items, like railing them or something like this. So if NSC is like openly going all over the map, like he might be like easier to read, I think.
Yeah, like what you saw in the final of Celts versus Annecy was
Hmm.
Annecy taking items and Celt just exploiting his predictable routes. Because when you're going for every item, you
Hmm.
kind of develop a preferred route, and Celts was just
Hmm.
doing a 150 damage every time Annecy went from mega to heavy and heavy to mega.
Hmm.
So Annecy needs to be better at figuring out routes of
Hmm.
attack and not just going overcommitting at every
Hmm.
item.
Don't you think the best advice for NSC will be to slow down the game and maybe focus on sticking to one side of the map? So
You
let's
can
say,
try and tell him that, but I
so
think he loves fighting too much to
I
do
know.
that.
So let's say you have the M6 and he spawned on Mega, and he should try to remember this time and stick more to Mega. Take guns, go back for Mega, take greens, fight, and not try to take both heavy and Mega and like rotate with them because it's gonna be on DM6. DM6 is too big map to do that first of all, and he's like too easy to read. So I
Yeah,
think maybe like slowing down the game as much as he can and trying to make sure to get like at least one big item every time. I think maybe that will kind of help him if he watches it or like if he will watch it.
but
Maybe
then
he
you,
can
you
say
you need kind
something
of
about it.
it's the different skill set to play that style. Because to play that style, you need to be better at knowing your enemy position. You need to be better at
Hmm.
having defensive positions yourself,
Hmm.
and you need to be good at controlling the stack of your enemy.
Yeah,
And
when you are not really running around the map all the time and you kind of stay, you already it's gonna be more clear for you what
yeah,
is your opponent doing because you can use some sounds. You have more time to think even, you know. You're just like your brain is like collecting more information, I think.
yeah, because you're not moving at 100%, so
Hmm.
naturally you'll have more time to think and gather these things in your head. So
Hmm.
maybe he will try to adapt his style if he sees it.
Yeah. Does NSC have any certain map which he's always banning, or he's like quite versatile and plays everything?
I think Hennessy probably bans Veil a lot
He
because it's a
bans
kind of
he bans
probably
Vayne.
Veil. Yeah,
Okay, okay. What about Sparty is like well rounded, right?
yeah. As long as the map has a nail gun and a tribal, Sparty's there.
And rail and rail. Yeah,
And Rail.
I think one of his best maps are actually the M6 and Awoken, like
I think
Spartis.
Sparty plays every map pretty well. Because especially like his best weapons for me are just Tribal and Nailgun because he uses them
Hmm.
so often and he hits so much with them, and other people aren't really expecting
Hmm.
that amount of damage from those weapons.
Yeah. Okay. About Sparty, I don't even know what else. I wanted to say something about Sparty, but I'm not sure. I'm just gonna watch his games this week, and I can't wait to see him play. Uh, that's it, I think. In my opinion, Sparty should take it. But I'm super curious to see how enesy gonna play and how RMV gonna play. RMV is also interesting. I think he had some great results in aesthetic ups lately.
Yeah.
Didn't he beat like Razy or someone?
He's been grinding a lot lately. He's been ramping up his results. So
Hmm.
I like how he's playing. He's also someone that has really good aim,
Hmm.
and the more he's been playing, the better he's been doing.
Hmm.
I haven't
Okay.
really checked. I think he beat someone really good in the last Istoris. I would have to see.
Hmm. Okay, and South America, I think Yap gonna win.
Oh, I was checking RMV result in the last week. He beat not last week, the week before that. He beat Celts and Base 2-0,
And base.
and then he beat Razy. Oh no, he lost to Razy in the lower bracket final.
Okay, that's still
But he beat
impressive, I
Base
think.
and Celts. That's very
Hmm.
impressive.
I'm not sure what are the strongest. I think RMV plays a lot of champions, right? He plays good clutch, good scale, and then
Yeah, he plays a lot of champions
Mhm.
indeed.
and he's hitting quite a lot of rails, right?
Yeah, he has really strong game as
Hmm.
well.
Do you know if he has any like weak maps or like strong maps, anything like that?
Due to his champion pool, I don't really think he has any weak maps because he's quite happy to play like
Hmm.
maps that aimers don't like to play, like Veil.
Hmm.
Since he plays stuff like Clutch,
Hmm.
I think he's fine on all maps. What I think is kind of his weakness is since he has such a big champion pool, he sometimes picks weird champions for some maps. Like he will sometimes pick a Scale for Deep Embrace or a Clutch for Awoken.
Hmm.
I've seen him even pick Clutch on the M6 and it just absolutely doesn't work.
Okay, okay. I'm just checking the Australian one, Asia Pacific. Mm, then the
I
can win,
then the
yeah.
king just yeah, no surprises there.
Hmm. I'm actually surprised that he keeps like I mean not surprised that he won, but I was surprised on last Quake on how well he played,
Yeah.
considering he didn't really practice that much.
But then the king is somewhat like he has strong mechanics and he has a very good basic sense of the game.
Hmm.
And every time he's gone to QuakeCon, he's gotten like top 8.
Yeah,
It's every time. So I don't think Kilson expected uh, such a fight against Dan the King.
me neither. Okay, and then we got North America.
That's
This
gonna
is
be Davies versus Effortless.
yeah. There's anyone else trying to qualify?
Anyone else that is good?
That
Probably
is
not.
good. Yeah, that is good. I
I
think,
mean, I don't know. Maybe Waz comes back and tries to play. Maybe the Hank tries to qualify.
man, if the
That
Hank
would be
tried to
amazing.
qualify, that would be so good. Man, that would be so good. He has to. Quaken is in Dallas, man. Why wouldn't he try or something? That
It's
would.
still like a couple of months to it, right? Because it's
Mhm.
the last qualifier. Let me see. It's gonna be in June. No, not June. It's gonna be 8th of July. So it's still 2 months from now. He could actually qualify for them in the
Exactly.
North America qualifier.
I
There's the
think.
hope. There's my hope.
Mhm. I think he could easily do it, actually.
Yeah, like the level that Davies and Effortless are at in duel right now is not that great.
I think Effortless isn't even practicing, first of all,
Yeah,
and Davis is like. I think he still lacks a little bit. If the
yeah,
Hank's in really good shape, that would be dope,
that would be amazing if a hang goes to
man.
QuakeCon.
That
I
would be
miss
super good.
seeing the hang.
And if he was in shape, that would actually like destroy a lot of games in the
Yeah,
group stages on QuakeCon. But anyway, we're gonna talk about it later, and that's it for now. I think, Bruno. I think
okay.
I said what I wanted to say. I think I will go with Sparty this one. I'm just curious how NSC gonna play, how RMV gonna play, and how FaZe gonna play. And how Proxima
Yeah,
gonna play? Like
I
how
think I
everybody
think
gonna play?
I think outside of Sparty, it's I think RMV should have the highest chance just
Okay.
because of how well he's playing lately. But the others would be an upset for them to win.
hmm Okay, that's great. Anyway, that's it, guys. That was our little predictions and small talk about the challengers. The challengers are this Saturday, so it's 27 of May, and I think a lot of people gonna cast it. I think Wenger gonna probably stream and cast it. I'm even thinking to stream it maybe with someone with Hron, and then when In's gonna win this challenger, he can join us to stream some more or
Yeah.
something. But anyway, we'll see. Thank you for the predictions.
Don't forget to smash that like button, hit the notification bell, and subscribe, guys.
He's right. He's right. Listen to the wise man.